Okay, today we're solving problems where there's missing data. They're going to tell you the average, and you are going to find a piece of missing data. This Mary problem says Mary wants to have a test average of 90. So they're telling us the average. You see, you're used to finding the average, but here they're telling us the average already. She's already taken 4 tests. Down here are pictures of her tests. And what does she have to make on the 5th test to have an average of 90? Before we do that problem, I want to do a simpler problem, and I'm actually going to make this a story, not just about tokens. So we're going to use this as a simpler example. My story is this. There are 5 boys, and when we look in their closet at the number of pairs of shoes, boy number 1 has 2 pairs of shoes. Boy number 2 has 5 pairs of shoes. Boy number 3 has 2 pairs of shoes. Boy number 1 has 1 pair of shoes. And boy number 5, I think I said that wrong. This is boy number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Down here are the numbers of pairs of shoes they have. We don't know how many boy number 5 has. Okay. There's 5 boys. The tokens represent the numbers of pairs of shoes they have. Okay. If I say the average number of shoes that the boys have, this set of 5 boys, their average number of shoes is 3. What I am saying is I'm leveling. Today we are talking about averaging as leveling of points. That's what an average is. Averaging is leveling of points or leveling of the pair of shoes. If we say the boys have an average of 3 pairs of shoes, we're saying if we shared them evenly between the boys, each boy would have 3. But we realize each boy does not have 3 in real life, right? That's just an average. So, using averaging for leveling, we can figure out the missing boys. Because, here's what I like to do. Averaging through leveling is this. If we know the average is 3, we want every stack to have 3. Go ahead and put the 3 for the missing boy. This is where you might mess up on your homework if you forget to put a blank where for the missing grade, or for the missing number, for the missing boy. You want to have a blank. So this guy has 2, but the average was 3. He needs another one. So this guy has extra. We'll take off 1 from him and give it to this one. Now, I don't like to use the tokens. I like to use the numbers. So, this guy has 5. I'm going to take 1 of that. That's mental math. Oh, so hard. That was 5. Take 1 off. Now you have 4. Give this guy an extra 1. Now, this guy matches the average. This guy still has too many. He has 4. Let's take 1 of his off, leave him with 3. Let's give it to this person who didn't have enough to meet the average. So this guy right here only has 3 now because he gave 1 over here and he gave 1 over here. Why? Because we're trying to level it off so everybody has the same. Alright, so this guy's got 3, this guy's got 3, this guy's got 3, this guy didn't have enough. So what's going to need to happen over here? If the average was indeed 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, how many would this guy need? He's going to have 3 for himself to meet the average, plus he needs extra for this guy. So he needs 3 plus 2 more so he can give them over to this guy. If he had 5 pairs of shoes, then it would average out or level off to 3 pairs of shoes per boy. And that was the average. It was an average of 3 pairs of shoes. Okay. Now, you might have noticed, and by the way, I changed the story, right? I said there were 5 boys, and I said the average number of shoes was 3. There was boy 1. Can you give me those numbers? The first boy had 2.
5, 2, 1, and 0.
And we didn't know this one. It was a mystery, right? 5 blanks. And we wanted it to be an average of 3, so when we have an average of 3, this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to show you another way you could have done that. Because that mental math thing that I was saying, that I'm doing this in my head, I'm moving one over here and I'm moving one over there. Some people don't like it. I do. Some people don't like it. So we have another method. I believe it's called method 1 on your notes. It's called method 1 on your notes. You might call it the multiply, then add, and then subtract. On your notes it's called method 1. Okay? So, here's what you do. If you know the average is 3 and there's 5 boys, that's take the average times 5 boys. You know you need 15 pairs of shoes. Okay? So, how many pairs of shoes do you have? Well, you have 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 1 so far. That's all the pairs of shoes you have. How many pairs of shoes is that? 10 pairs of shoes. So if you need 15 pairs of shoes, and you only have accounted for 10 pairs of shoes, well, that tells you that the last one guy that's missing, we don't know how many shoes he had. That means the last guy had 5 pairs. So we multiply, then we add it, and then we subtract. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to use that Mary problem from the front, and we're going to try it both ways again. So we're going to try to level these off. Here we go. Where's Mary? Let's read about Mary. Here it is. Mary wants to have a test average of 90. So what's the average? 90. 90, 90, 90, 90. And guess what? There's a test missing. 90. If you forget that blank, you're going to be lost on your homework. Mary wants to have a test average of 90. She has already taken 4 tests. 1, 2, 3, 4 tests. Already taken. Her scores on the first 4 tests are listed here. What does she have to make on the 5th test? This one's missing. Got to put that blank or you'll be lost tonight. What does she have to make on the 5th test to have an average of 90? So if she's going to have an average of 90, what an average is we took these points and we shared them evenly. Okay? So we have 90 points in each stack. Notice this stack, 87 doesn't have enough. This stack has too many. We can take 3 points out of there and bring it over here. Now these stacks have 90. This stack has too much, 1 too many, right? Take that one out and add it to this stack. So, what does she need to make on this test so that all our stacks make 90? We need 90 here plus an extra point so we can make up for not meeting the 90 here. We need an extra point so we know that she needs a 91. I like to do the averaging through level. I think it's called method 3 on your notes. Okay. Method 2, some people prefer that. I'm going to explain method 2. On method 2, you multiply, you add, and you subtract. Must. Must. Okay. Here's what you do. If you know, let me erase this method 1, method 3 stuff. Okay. If you know we need one more test, and you know you want the average to be 90, you want it to work out to be 90, and some of you are not going to want to write this 90, 90, 90, 90 like I do. I want to encourage you to do so. And if you come and say, Miss Hunches, I don't get it, we're going to do this. This is what we're going to do. We're going to write that 90, 90, 90. We're going to write all the scores listed like this horizontally. Okay. So, multiply. If you need 90 in each stack, and there are 5 stacks, that's 90 times 5, right? You need 450 points total in order to get an average of 90. You need the sum of your tests to be 450. Okay. Let's add. What are we adding? We're adding 87 plus 93 plus 91 plus 88 to see how many points we have so far. That's why I don't like method 2, because I don't like adding all those numbers up. But some people do like to add all those numbers up. So 87 plus 93 plus 91, 88. So far we have 359 points. Now remember, we got one more test to take, a chance to get more points. So we need 450 points to have an average of 90, and we've earned 359 points. Let's subtract. If I had a 91 on this last test, I could have an average of 90, or the test average, or Mary could. So that is averaging through leveling. It's when I give you the average, but you're missing one of your numbers in the data set, and you're trying to figure out the missing data. This next question is not like those previous two. Here we are. Mr. Jump. This is on your notes. Mr. Jump. Mr. Jones took a survey in his class and found out that together his students have 34 siblings. So it's like he walked around. How many brothers and sisters do you have? How many brothers and sisters do you have? How many brothers and sisters? He added all the brothers and sisters together. He's already added all his data, and he got 34. He also has already got the average number of siblings. So what did he have to do? He had to take the total siblings, divide by the number of students, and he got 2 for his average. How can we figure out the number of students?
Divide 34 by 2.
Divide 34 by 2.
17.
34 divided by 2 is 17 students altogether. So sometimes they're not as difficult. I think the one about Mary's score is more difficult than this one. So today we've been doing averaging and leveling. Remember, it's a good idea to write them out like this. Put a blank for the one that's missing. Put your average that you want, that you're reaching for, underneath.
I made it all the way to